Hello and welcome to The Gauntlet. It's a community of tabletop role-playing gamers, and this is specifically The Gauntlet's Saturday morning Star Wars, Saturday morning cartoons that I've rebranded for 2018 as Star Wars Saturdays. And in this maybe year-long, we'll see how long we still have the taste for Star Wars goodness. We're playing in the Star Wars universe within the loose canon, but really our canon trumps any canon of the movies, but generally within the movie timeline about when New Hope has happened. Rogue One New Hope is about the timeline we've been playing in. It's a living campaign, meaning that events from previous sessions will... Oh, we just lost somebody. That's okay. Matt will rejoin us in just a minute. Previous events in other game sessions could and will affect this session. Characters may reappear. The other twist to this is that every month we are playing a different system. Now, maybe it repeats. There may be a system for like earlier in the year that later in the year we revisit. But yeah, absolutely brand new system. I'll be honest, it's me running it, so a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse games, but not this time. My buddy Jesse and I have worked together to hack Lady Blackbird, which is one of my favorite RPGs. And we've taken Lady Blackbird, and then there's a Jedi Blackbird supplement that's up on the web. We borrowed a few elements for that, but everything else we cooked up on our own to set it in the Star Wars universe. And we have there are 5 pre-generated characters. Jesse unable to play with us today, so Sola Panaka, which is the Naboo senator who is trying to get back to Naboo from the Outer Rim territories. Sola's going to be an NPC for this session. No big deal. We're going to do a quick introduction of the characters we do have, and then I'll spin us up to where we had last left off, and we'll kick forward. We'll start off with Pavel. Pavel, please tell us who you are playing.
I'm playing Novar Fryn, a Jedi Knight. Novar is from a race called Carrion. This guy has like a very tall forehead. He's a bit older. He's been around since the Order 66, so since the end of the episode 3. He has mourned his lost brethren, and every now and then his padawan just remembers him of what was lost by her reckless actions, but he's dedicated into training his padawan, and so that he hopes that maybe then they can train more, and at some point they can like bring peace to the universe. But so far he's on this mission to return Senator Sola Panaka to Naboo, and he has hired Zuto to help him with his ship.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Next, we have Zuto, because he's already been mentioned. So let's meet Zuto.
Zuto is a bounty hunter with a very particular sort of philosophy about life. He's compassionate as far as bounty hunters go, but it definitely seems like he's trying to find a way to sleep at night while still doing the only job that he's good at. That's Zuto.
Oh, so dark, so sad. I love it. Next,
don't you have a secret that we should all know about?
I have a cool jetpack. But secretly, I am considering pursuing the bounty of a particular clone trooper named 52.
Ooh, let's learn about 52. Matt, can you tell us about 52?
Of course. 52 is a clone trooper, formerly part of the Empire. He's the bodyguard of Sola Panaka, the senator, with whom there may be some romantic sparks flying. He is an optimist and an extraordinarily compassionate man who cannot ignore a request for help. He also has undergone some pretty strong emotional trauma from his time in the Clone Wars and since then, and is a troubled man. And last session, he and mostly Kona Thorn helped a bounty of Zuto's, Chulo, to escape.
That is right. Well, Chulo the Rhodian with 6 kids got away at the very end of our last session. And so we've already mentioned this young Padawan. Why don't we meet them? Mark, why don't you tell us about Kona?
Well, much like in the game, Kona has gotten paid attention to at the very end and not at the very beginning, the way she'd prefer. I will be playing Kona. She is a Twi'lek. She has she's blue and she has the Leku, and she is young and brash and doesn't quite get the tenets of the Jedi Order, and she when she decides on something, she goes for it. And so I was speaking with Chulo last session, and with but a few words from 52, I embarked upon a jailbreak. And I also am the I don't know if I'm the owner, but I definitely keep a droid in repair, R4RL, I believe we've named it, and together we will save the universe along with our master, and I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Awesome. And I just want to point out the cool silhouette that Mark is in is not an indication that he is going to the dark side immediately. I'm sure that will happen over 4 sessions. Right, Mark? You're not dark side yet, right?
I don't have the experience points for dark side yet. I need 2 more, so I'll let you know.
Okay. The Lady Blackbird system is a quick and easy to use. It's a player-facing system in that I don't roll dice. They're rolling a series of 6-sided dice looking for hits. Now, we're going to be using funky dice created by Shannon Liebling on the roll for your party. So don't forget, when you click a funky dice setting, funky dice makes me excited, guys. I just like having funky dice out there. And so we're rolling the DHs, hits or misses, X's or blanks, and the X's, you count them up. I set a difficulty, and if you fail, then I roll forward. I may put a condition on you, which are similar to hit points. And there's one called dead, but it doesn't mean permanently dead unless that's what you really want. However, there are only 5 characters, and we have 5 players normally, so you might want to not be dead. It's Star Wars, so nobody's dead per se. I mean, you thought Darth Maul was way gone, but he was in like 3 seasons of Star Wars Rebels, so obviously anyone can come back. All right, in the last session, as you guys had already alluded to or mentioned directly, Chulo, the Rhodian, yes, Boba Fett lives. He like crawls out of, he's not digested over 1,000 years. He just crawls right out. The malfunctioning jetpack, he like fixes it like I can't fix my lawnmower, and then bam, he's good. You guys had freed Chulo, broke him out from his bounty where he had told you that Black Sun, not a Vigo, but one of the Black Sun uppers would have definitely vaporized his butt. He took an escape pod, and as you guys came out of hyperspace and were flying into the Roche asteroid field, which is inhabited primarily by Verpine. Verpine are insectoid creatures. They look super cool, and I'll show you a picture of the Verpine because I don't have it in our little cheat sheet yet. But the Verpine, just so everybody has an opportunity to know what we're talking about, are these dudes right here, these awesome looking, really dope insectoid creatures. They are great with technology, hyper smart, and some say that they have a hive mind, but it's entirely possible that that's just something they let everybody think about them so that they aren't easily destroyed. The Verpine homeworld is, the rumor is that Roche used to be a planet, and that the Roche asteroids are the remains of the Verpine homeworld. The government currently calls it itself the Verpine technocracy. And there are a number of larger asteroids. Nickel 1, nickel, like, you know, the 5-cent piece in American U.S. currency. Nickel 1 is the capital. There is also Roche G42, Shantipole, Corpel, and Slayn, S-L-A-Y-N, are the major, kind of, you think of the larger states in the United States or the larger nations in the European Commonwealth. And that's kind of what those asteroids are from a political and size, mass, and per capita investment. And you guys were pulling into Roche G42 when the escape pod launched. And Zudo gathered everyone together to do a quick head count, fearful that perhaps someone had been jettisoned out the airlock or something crazy like that. But no, it was revealed by 52 and also by Kona that Chulo's gone. Zudo admonished 52, and Sola, you know, kind of neutral on that one. Kona, however, pointed out that it was her idea, that she did it, she broke him out, and Zudo ignored Kona, told her to go, I don't know, get some power converters from the Tashi station or some shit like that. We're going to be using Star Wars expletives going forward. I need to stick that onto our little cheat sheet. I need to do that, just so everybody can say karking alongside me. But don't forget Poodoo. Poodoo, my favorite Star Wars curse word. So we pick up with the Blackbird, which is the name of Zudo's ship. It is from the Clone War era. It was originally a diplomatic ship, but it had more than enough armament and weapons to be able to head deep into the outer rim and out into the colonies and other parts of wild space and defend itself well enough. It still has a few of the markings. It has this kind of the red paint job on certain aspects of it. We've got a picture of the Blackbird. It looks super cool. It's my favorite picture of a ship from Clone War era, to be honest with you. I think it looks really dope. It looks like a hot rod, but you put it in space. And you guys are pulling into Roche G42. G42 is an asteroid that has been, it was early on an excellent mining colony, and now it is more of a way station and a colony for residents, primarily Verpine, but there are other species who exist here. And as you guys are pulling in, you have some Verpine squawking in your ear, Zudo giving you the landing coordinates and a beacon that you need to follow. And you guys, if you guys remember, like on a lot of the Star Wars movies where they have the cool kind of see-through, you can see out into space, but there's some kind of field, right? You pull through that field and into Roche. Now, Roche is a generally round asteroid. There are a few lumpy bits on the outer hull, but it's been hollowed out. And I'm not sure if you guys can remember Guardians of the Galaxy, the scene on Nowhere, K-N-O-W, nice little pun, which was held inside the head of a celestial being, is similar to that, in that all along, like, there's no sense of, the gravity is effectively relative. It's circular, so you can be standing up at the top, as it were, and look straight up, and you're looking at the ground of the other side. Am I making sense? Okay, cool. It's kind of like the video game Halo. The first time I played the video game Halo, and I realized that Master Chief could look straight up and see the area you were going to go to at some point. It was super cool. It's like that. And there are tons of landing pads. There are a bunch of businesses. You can see some glowing lights from cantinas and gambling halls. And there's also a good deal of manufacturing, mostly manufacturing where things are brought from Roche across the asteroid belt, places that are still being mined and either assembled, broken down, smelted here. But nothing's being actively mined in Roche G42. It's been here for 1,000 years. The first thing that you notice, Zuto, when you come past that screen is that there's a swarm, a literal swarm of small single man, it's basically like single man piloted vehicles that have a little verpine or a pair of verpine in it, and they just kind of swarm through. And I hopefully Pablo's got our back on this, but in Europe, especially in India, there are very few laws on like what a car should look like, or who drives on what side of the road, or how many cars can be driving in a certain direction. That seems to be Roche. The Verpine here, they all have their own custom on how and where they drive, but it is absolutely foreign to you. And there are little ships that are zipping by you. It is entirely possible that some of them may run into you. There's a few bulk freighters that are coming up and lifting off, and you see, based on the ping and the little display on your HUD, where you need to land. But this could be challenging. Zuto, what do you do?
Watch the paint. These little insects. I could crush them. I won't though.
I hate to disturb you, Mr. Zuto. But I'm really curious. I understand that the main reason for us coming here was to drop off this Chulo prisoner, and I'm very sorry for my apprentice behavior. But now that he's gone, no longer in our captivity, is there any reason for us to stop over here?
Yes, well, unfortunately, this ship does still operate on fuel, so we're going to need to get refueled and collect some provisions for the next leg of the trip here. And I suppose this place was good as any. We'll be a little bit lighter on credits, I'm afraid, but who knows? Maybe we'll pick up some more work while we're here. I'm a man who appreciates synergy.
Very well. I will not disturb you anymore with landing. After we land, maybe we can discuss how can I contribute to us getting as soon as possible out of here.
You're a good man, Novar.
How we can contribute.
Too bad you're part of a package.
Snap.
All right. Don't do anything stupid. And don't touch the antennae. They don't like that. And keep your eyes open.
Could you please give me a roll to avoid getting into an accident with someone who just can't quite get out of the way of your nicely sized, beautiful cruiser? Difficulty is a 2.
Sure. Well, I'm a pilot, and I'm very steady. I'm maneuvering around here. I'm very alert. Does navigation come into play here as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, generally, when I think of navigation, I'm thinking of like navigating larger spaces, but you're trying to navigate your way around these people. I'm good with it.
Cool. Funky dice. Six. I'll be yellow. 3 hits.
3 hits is exactly what you need, sir. Oh, jeez. All right. So it's a swarm that buzzes around you. There's a freighter that actually kind of careens up and has to clear out of the way, rising up higher into the middle space where there's less gravity to get out of your way, but you're headed towards your landing spot when a pair of swoop bikes come through, and it looks like one of them is about to bump into you. Do you get out of the way? I mean, it's up to you if you get out of the way or just let this stupid swoop biker scratch his paint on you.
I honk my space horn, I guess.
Nice. It's like hit a little button. The swoop bike zips out of the way. You see a pair of Sulistans, and one of them like raises his fist and gives you some kind of hand gesture that we don't see, but it's obviously offensive. And then you are able to land. So we cut away and we see the Blackbird. She comes down into a landing pad. Grav pad hits, clicks on, your landing gear comes down. And there are a couple of there's some coupling joints that come down, and then the whole pad starts to move down, and it becomes a little bit dark, right? And get a few flashes, 52, of moments when you're like in a huge hauler in an ATV, and you're getting ready to go into battle, right? And the door starts to shut and it gets darker and darker and darker. What do you do, 52?
52 just kind of turns away, draws into himself. He kind of unconsciously draws closer to Sola, who is has become a source of solace for him over the years that they've been working together, that he's been working for her. And he finds her presence reassuring. She's comforted him before, including just on this trip. And when the bad memories resurface, he often turns to her.
Nice. So Kona or Novar, which of the two of you notices 52's distress? I think you both are sensitive to emotions, so I'll just leave it up to you. Who is it that notices this moment, sees him grow a little bit closer and sitting closer to Sola?
I think Novar might notice, but I'm not sure if he will act on this anyhow.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I should. Yeah. 52. Is there something you know about this place? You seem to be acting like you maybe heard about this place, or is there anything we should be aware while we are here?
No, nothing like that. I've never been here. Just bringing up some memories of the war. Novar, you fought in the war, didn't you? The Clone War?
Yes, I did.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. It is still deep into my, sometimes visits me in the nights, in my visions, especially this especially dark moment sometimes come by and haunts me.
I have a question. I have a question, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were hiding the fact that we were Jedis. Did we reveal that?
Oh, oops.
Well, you're obviously rebels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rebels who fought the war.
We can just retcon that I did not say that, because yeah, you guys were hiding that you were Jedi.
I'm totally fine with bringing this up. Like, I would like Zuta to, because we discussed that he doesn't know, so I think it will be fun for him to, I don't know, at least get suspicions, maybe to question Novar later, because otherwise we will like keep the secret forever, and that's.
Well, until I pull out some lightsabers, but yes.
Right.
Okay. How
You know,
about
with a laser sword. I thought those were forbidden. Okay, cool. So let's make sure. Are we retconning or are we riding forward with 52 having a sense that...
I think I'd like to change it a little bit to not being like, oh, I know you're a Jedi, you must have fought in the Clone War, and more just, as opposed to Kona, you look like you've been around for a while, and it was a huge war that involved, I mean, was it every planet, basically?
Definitely everything in the core and mid-rim, so...
So it could just be like, hey, were you there too, basically?
Got that 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. You've seen some shit, man. Sorry, you've seen some poodoo.
Awesome.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, 52. I believe you as well.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, when was your turning point?
My turning point? What do you mean?
Of joining the opposing side.
Oh. I went with Sola. Where the senator goes, I follow. She tried to make things work from within as part of the Senate, and now there's no more Senate. It's not to say that I loved what the Republic became, that I agreed with what they did, but I had a job to do, and I did it.
That definitely resonates with Zuto. When you say, I had a job to do and I did it. I think Zuto's starting to feel a little uncomfortable. So this is not me wanting to end this conversation, but maybe Zuto saying like, yes, we've all been through some poodoo. Now we have some work to do. We can save the gabbing for the space lanes, right?
Yes, then we will have plenty of time to talk.
All right. So I'll pull you aside, Novar, and say, I spent a lot of time in my life working with delinquent youths, and I've found that the best way to deal with them is to give them a mission. If not, they'll get bored, and then when they get bored, they get mischievous. We've all seen what happens when Sola gets, or when Kona gets mischievous. What do you think?
After what she did, I'm kind of not sure what will be the result. But I never had kids of my own, so I guess I will take your advice, Mr. Zuto. Anything in particular? Should I ask her to find us some cheap fuel or some cheap supplies?
It doesn't really matter. Send her on a wild goose chase for all I care. But
very well.
See the note. I'm right here. Poor Kona.
So I'm thinking for my checklist, I know we have to get the ship refueled.
Yes.
Is there anything, other conditions that we need to mark off of the ship or anything like that?
That's a great question. So you guys did such an awesome job escaping that other than, hey, it might be smart to get a replacement escape pod, you're okay. It didn't take any conditions. So yeah, I unless you guys had another thing you wanted to, I just realized it.
That's a good idea, actually. I think Zuto will be on the market for escape pods. I think he's specifically going to be looking for used escape pods, perhaps as a means of seeing if a certain escape pod landed here and was then sold immediately for someone who didn't need it. And yeah,
that's pretty clever. That is pretty clever. Cool. So you were headed straight to G42. You don't know if Chola was told that you guys were headed to G42, but it seemed pretty evident. So chances are he's probably not landed here. But you have a network. You also know other bounty hunters, Zuto. So you guys land. You know, the slab that you landed on is pulled down, and it's effectively like a garage. Like there are a bunch of other large ships. This is within a layer of the Roche G42 asteroid, and so the freighter's kind of moved along, and the Blackbird, she's parked, and basically the slab itself kind of chunks into a section of plated wall. This is large enough to house about 100 different freighters. It's about halfway full. So there's a lot. It's very, I'm space opera guys, so it's very huge, echoey, right? And you guys can take a little space elevator, and you have a couple of your conversations here, and then you come up onto the surface where you can split out and head for Zuto. You could go to the bounty hunter office. You could also just check regular resellers and the like, junk dealers, people who move ships and refit ships. That'd be lots of different avenues for you to check things out. Kona and 52 and as well Novar will need to figure out what you guys are up to. Again, it's lots of traffic. This is very hectic, right? So it's a very populous, G42 is a very populous way station for people. So I'll check in with Novar first. Oh, and Sola, she hopes to get to a comm tower. She wants to try to get communication back home. But she knows she needs to do it through channels because Naboo is currently not friendly with the Empire right now.
I have an idea that maybe she's asked 52 to try to track down another contact since we didn't get the one on the last planet.
Oh, that is a great idea. Yeah, so Sola can be a quest giver because you're so smart. Yeah, Sola will say she'll pull 52 aside, and for some reason you as well, Kona, because you the player had the idea. So I'll just throw you the bone.
Okay.
There's a woman here in the Roche system. Her name is Abenta Psycho. And that's Syko. She doesn't say it that way, but you know that it's Siko. We'll just say Siko. That sounds better. Abenta Siko. She is a person who could be friendly to us and might be able to give us any information about Imperial presence and threats. While I'm trying to establish some contact back home, if you could look for Abenta, she usually finds herself at cantinas. It's the best place to meet freighter pilots, and she moves a lot of information back and forth.
Are you sure you want me to go? I mean, this is not the safest place in the galaxy. I could stay by with you.
She seems very tempted by that offer. I can't do two things at once, 52. And talking with my people back home is very important. But if there are contacts that we can make along the way, it would be very helpful. So unfortunately, I think we need to go our separate ways for a brief period. But I have my comm unit.
Okay.
Feel free to reach out. Will you go with 52? I know that you and For Real are very competent, and perhaps the two of you can work together.
Yeah. Thank you. She's like, someone's asking her to do something, and they think she's competent, so she's shocked. So,
yeah. 52, you've seen this before. Sola totally is basically you need to take care of the Twi'lek is what she's saying, but like it's just like you guys know. She's very diplomatic.
Way to ruin that. Thanks.
I know. Well, that's okay. It's the truth. Don't worry. You don't know that, Twi'lek. You're very excited.
I get it.
Sweet. So we have Abinta Siko. I'll drop her in the people and places. She's a female human. Supposedly can be found at a cantina here in G42. So it looks like I've just pulled your padawan away from you, wonderful Novar. With Zudo heading off to pursue something, it looks like your padawan, she wants to go off with 52. Are you going to let that happen? Are you going to insist that you go along? What are you doing?
I think Novar will ask Kona to, before she heads out, to come and talk to him for a moment. Kona, come over here just for a second.
Of course.
Cool. Before we start that scene, before we move too far along, and I've forgotten, you guys absolutely hit a refresh scene coming in, having the conversation about the Clone Wars and talking back and forth. So if you need anything refreshed, that scene absolutely covers it. That was spectacular, and I want to make sure that from a rules perspective, we've covered that. So everybody should be refreshed. Cool.
I just want to hit the key of missing piece because I was reminded of what I have lost.
You sure were. You're absolutely hit with that key of missing piece, and you responded to it beautifully. So yes, you definitely did that. And Key of the Bounty, I know you're headed for that right now, Zudo, which is great. Yeah. Don't worry about Key of Trader, though, 52. We'll be hitting that soon. Go on. You guys, no, never mind what I said. You guys go on. So, Novar, you wanted to talk to Kona.
Yes. I'm not yet sure what to think about what you did just a moment ago, but yeah, why don't you go with whatever Sola asked you to go, and just remember about your values, about our code. I hope you can show some more serenity and harmony than just than you did with your earlier action.
You don't want to oversee me?
You're going with 52, yes?
Well, yes, but he's not my teacher.
Well, you have been in teaching long enough. I believe you should. I believe you should go and undertake some simple assignments. So yeah, I want you to go on your own while I'll handle my business. Not like you will be alone. There will be 52 of you. So, and you seem to be cooperating with him quite well, from what I heard. So, why don't we see where this will take us? And if you happen to find some cheap supplies we can acquire before leaving, to have something more tasteful to eat than some fried meat, that's some frozen meat. That would be even better.
You mean like candy?
Why not? Although I was hoping, maybe I'm not really sure about what is the dietary of this. I'm sorry, what's this race name of this ant people?
Verpine?
Verpine. I'm not sure about their dietary requirements, but maybe something like fresh tomatoes or vegetables would be nice to have to add to our cuisine while we are on the way.
Sure.
May the force be with you, Kona.
And with you. It's really
nice.
hard. It's really hard for her not to say master. Like, it's like okay.
And with you, Matt. And
we're on a mission.
This is great.
Cool.
Sweet. So we're gonna pick up with Zudo, headed off to try to find anyone who is hoping to move hot merchandise. Hot merchandise. Mike, an escape pod specifically, as in recently. So I think that you're trying to hunt down, perhaps. Oh, you know what? I won't tell you what trait. I'll tell you that getting a lead on Chulo is going to be a difficulty of 3.
Okay. And I'm looking at my traits and seeing what would be best for that. Yes, I don't think this is necessarily me trying to hunt him as one would a prey, but rather speaking with people and trying to gather evidence and clues. So I'm thinking maybe negotiator is more applicable here.
As soon as I saw those tags, I was like, yeah, let me back off from telling him what trade. He may have different ways to do the thing he wants to do.
Yeah, I'm still not trying to make too many waves. I'm reticent to go to the bounty hunter office because sometimes when you've got a bounty and other people have a bounty as well, maybe there's a bounty out on you while you're pursuing your own bounty. So especially since things have gotten a bit heated here, I think I will maybe not be intimidating or demanding. So I'll just go with maybe some deals and some promises.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I buy that.
I'm willing to do that. And maybe spin some tails to earn some credit with these people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice is not very good for what I'm shooting for. So I think I will throw in 2 more dice from my pool for this. Total of 7.
All right, total of 7.
Let me just delete these real quick.
Oh, if you're getting rid of all of it, you can just clear.
Oh, I was afraid I would lose our cool.
No, it actually keeps the background. I tested that once. And it keeps the background. So clear is actually really useful.
Just 3.
Exactly 3. Okay. So you grease a few palms, tell a few tales, and you are at a junk shop that's run by a Toydarian. Toydarian, if you guys remember, is Watto from Tatooine. They have the little baby tiny wings and these like big noses, and they speak with outrageous accents, or Watto did. I'm just going to say that that's mostly Watto because the Toydarians that were in the Clone Wars didn't speak terribly like that. So this Toydarian says, oh, you're looking for an escape pod. He brings up a little data pad, swipes it with his sausage fingers. Oh, there was one that went up in Nickel 1. Actually still fresh, looking good. Interesting. You talk, friend. I understand you have a pretty big ship. He flies up a little closer to your shoulder and says, you interested in taking on any cargo, my friend? I've got hold of some stuff that would be very lucrative if there was someone willing to get it off of Roche G42 with a very few questions.
I have moved cargo in that manner before without too much difficulty, but I do have to tell you, I'm already in the process of moving some rather hot cargo as it is, and I'd be worried about making my presence too warm, if you know what I mean. Certainly not for any small amount of credit, at least.
No, it will not be small. See, I have hold of some Larmal stone, and let's just say that the people who had it, they didn't pay to have it stored anymore. You know what I mean? So it's been seized, and they're not very happy that I've taken it. So I'd really like to get it off of G42 before they take it back by force. And it would be a shame to not make any credits at all on this after I've already lost credits to them. You know?
Indeed, indeed.
So Larmal stone is a very expensive rock that can only be found on the Roche asteroid field, which makes it like uber. It's milky in color, and it's actually used. It's not a weaponized thing. It's used as like floor covering and like statues and other furniture. It's really beautiful when it's shaped, and it holds shape for quite a long time. That's Larmal stone.
Well, if I'm not even going to be moving like guns or bombs or whatever, I think this is a pretty nice way for Zuto to kind of recoup some of his losses from Chulo. So I think I might have room for a little bit of stone and pebbles, I suppose. Where were you hoping to have it taken?
Well, of course, if it goes into the core worlds, that's where you can make the most money off of it. I tell you what, I've got a credit line within the galactic, commerce. Sorry, but it's the Imperials now. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm, indeed.
I attach my information to this. I've got your name in the bounty hunter database, so I know you can't really rip me off. I take half, you take half. You sell this in the core worlds, you're probably looking at enough to, outfit yourself with maybe a land speeder, snow speeder, probably about 15,000 credits.
Something shiny. Well, yes, a little something shiny for myself, I suppose.
Worth your effort, and you're already headed that way, right? Because you're on the preliminary trade route. So I'm kind of landlocked. I'm tied up with what I do.
I'll tell you what, friend. If I can expect a bit of discretion from you, that you would keep quiet about perhaps who you've hired for this mission. Of course, you know my name and you know where to find me. But if you keep me off the shipping manifest, give me a deal on this escape pod, and just for good measure, why don't you tell me a bit more about who sold this to you? Then I'll take that Larmal stone off your hands.
Ooh, he's trying to push for a little more info. I think that's going to be a little tougher. If you want all that info, I'll tell you what, I will set a difficulty of 4 to get all those pieces. Failure means, he was kind of asking the questions asked was a little bit of his setup. So 4 is the number of successes, but for every 1 success, you can re-ask one of those questions and he'll answer it. Does that make sense?
Sure. And failure here would mean...
He's going to just gum up and say, no.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So pushing my luck here is not going to necessarily cause me any further issues.
No. I mean,
Wow. Well, I'll just go ahead and go to negotiator, deals and promises. I'll just roll 4 and see what kind of information I get. I don't want to dip too much further into my pool. I got 2.
All right. Cool. So he says, this escape pod, it's a junk dealer I know over on Nickel 1. I can lead you right to him. Looks like some kind of Rhodian got his hands on it. They're not asking any questions, so basically a guy just wants passage. That's it. Getting ripped off. You ask me.
Well, I didn't hear it from you.
You want me to put a hold on it? Because this price is really good. Put a hold on that escape pod, you go pick it up?
Oh, yes, indeed. If you have a location for it. I'm very particular to this model. It saved my hide a time or 2. Good luck charm. As it would be. Yes, I think I'll head that way. And right. You get in touch with your men and have them drop the Larmal stone off outside of the ship. And I'll have some of my staff take it in.
Staff? Who doesn't love staff? All right. Good deal. Good dealing with you. offers his little sausage fingers for a handshake.
Yeah, it's like it's like squeezing a bunch of bananas almost. It's kind of odd. Yes.
Awesome. So we cut away from that. We do one of the screen wipes as you're heading back into the crowd. We pick up with Novar. So Novar, you gave Kona the thumbs up, go ahead, and 52, the two of them left off on some errand of their own. What are you doing, Novar?
Yeah, I don't want to create any more plot since I believe something is cooking up. So I think we pick up with Novar, who said that he will stay with the ship. He's in his quarters. He's meditating like half a meter above the level of the floor.
Nice.
And I'm just like expanding my mind, trying to feel the place. Are there any dangers? Are there any evil intentions? Maybe I will sense some, God forbid, some force protects me, some Sith presence, or some long lost Jedi artifacts. Who knows?
Nice.
So I think this is the scene, and whatever the result of the roll will be, I suppose we will see like Novar open his eyes and just like storm out. So
I like that.
I believe you can just cook something up for me. So
sweet. So you enter into this trance. You reach across the Roche asteroid field, opening yourself to the Force, looking for connections, trying to understand the universe and the way that things work. And there are two things in particular that you sense. The first is, if you remember when you guys first arrived in the Roche asteroid field, there was one asteroid that had, it was obvious that there were, it was half of an asteroid, like it had been exploded. That whatever this asteroid once was is now lost. And you could see that there were the hollowed out.
Oh. 1 sec, a doorbell. I'll be right back.
Cool. Yeah, we'll cut away from you. Now that 32 is back, we'll pick up with the two of you entering into a small casino. It's located kind of like a hub right by this area where a bunch of freighters are landing. It's the best, quickest joint. We will say that this cantina is called the Open Air, which is a terrible name for a casino, but the person who runs it is very insistent. We'll pick back up with what you see. We cut away if you see some explosions. Sorry, Novar. We see some explosions in your mind's eye as you relive what took place on that asteroid. It's and we'll pick back up with you in just a minute. So we cut over to you guys entering the Open Air, and as we see them. So 52, how are you dressed right now?
I'm probably I actually don't think I wear my helmet very much anymore. But I do still like to wear my armor. Just to help me be a good bodyguard and not die. But it's a little conspicuous when you're not actually part of the Empire now. So I've probably got like some big bulky robe on over it. Probably not too dissimilar from a Jedi robe, incidentally. Nice. Yeah, just trying to look little inconspicuous, but nice. Maybe looking more conspicuous because of it. Like, hey, what are those weird bulges under that guy's robe?
Cool. And humans are absolutely outnumbered here. You maybe could count 11, 12 of them here in the casino. You will notice that there are a lot of Verpines who are present at the casino. Some of them working it, a lot of them just here milling about. Verpines seem to like to crawl on ceilings and culturally, that seems like people don't freak out about that. There's not a whole lot going on up on the scenes. There are a few reverse grab tables where people are throwing dice, but primarily the action's here on the ground. Do you... oh, sorry. I thought that said something different from what Mark had said. So I thought you were saying, does he fit in? And you said, does he lift? Which I think's adorable, and I didn't catch that. So sorry. This place has a lot of spacers here, so you don't stick out too bad. There are some bounty hunters. There are a few thugs. This is a generally rougher area, right? Because all the spacers that are here. The music that's being it's local. There's actually a band. There's a lead singer. She is a Polowick. Do you guys remember Cy Snootles? The kind of sluggish with the huge mouth snout with the lips. Then she could sing in Jabba's in Jabba's palace there. So yes, Polowick is singing. They have beautiful voices because they have like really specialized throats and huge lung capacity because of these big barrel chests. And she's singing some pop music that we paid somebody like an ex-Disney star to sing for us. It sounds really good. It's going on the soundtrack that you can buy later. What is our Twi'lek? How is she dressed? What's she appear like? She fit in? I'm really curious. Young Kona.
Yeah, I don't think she fits in at all. Let's see. I have a hard time imagining her as wearing anything but the outfit in the image that I stole off the internet. So, do you want to bring that picture up, Rich, or?
Sure, I'm happy to. It's right there on our character sheet. So yeah, she is dressed in that brown robes and dark brown boots and slacks.
Yeah. I mean, I think the droid's with me as well. So, it's just the three of us, I think.
Sweet. It turns out that they do serve droids here.
Oh.
There aren't a lot of droids, but they don't kick them out. Now my doorbell is rung. We're going to take a quick break as I go answer the doorbell. It's like the doorbell day. See you guys in a few minutes. Take a bio.
Bye. Just a day of interruptions.
Yeah.
I almost had to drop two. And then I just got a call from work because I deal with the money at work and forgot to put out the weekend's money yesterday. So everybody was running around like, we don't have any money in the drawers. What's going on?
Ugh. Money problems. More money, more problems.
Yeah, unfortunately that money's not mine. But
yes, that's always rough. Well, hopefully my cat won't jump up on or try to jump up on the desk and fail and create any more cataclysmic
cataclysms.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Well done.
Catastrophes. I don't think it's a coincidence that so many words for disaster involve the word cat.
You know, I think you're onto something here, Matt. I think you really are.
I miss having kitties. I just have a giant galumphing dog now. And she's adorable, but she's so heavy. And she like climbs on you like a cat does, like to try to stand on your shoulders. But she weighs like 70 pounds. So
oh gosh, what kind of dog?
She's a pit bull Saint Bernard
Gosh.
boxer mix. She's not huge, but she is incredibly dense and muscular and just she's an adorable monster.
God, yeah, that sounds kind of scary. Pitbull, Saint Bernard.
She's really cute, but when she barks, it terrifies people, and she unfortunately likes to bark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, I do think pit bulls get a bit of a bad rap, but also.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's because they're strong. They're strong dogs, and a lot of them come from bad situations, or are the fighting dog of choice, and they're raised by,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a couple animal shelters in my area. The one in the college town that I live in has a wide variety of animals, and then the one like 20 minutes east of here, which is in a like economically depressed city with a much higher degree of poverty and violence, and the animal shelter is all pit bulls because people just dump them out on the streets all the time there.
Yeah, I've seen that trend. It's kind of sad. I'm still trying to adopt a dog.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had a dog, but now I'm living in a house with a fenced in backyard, so it's like, let's get a dog.
Oh yeah.
But so we're just kind of waiting because we want to adopt too. So we've been going to the shelter and just kind of waiting for the right sort of fellow. So
what are you looking for?
One that's compatible with the cat, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much the biggest issue. Because I mean, that's sometimes why dogs come to the shelters, because they didn't work well with other people's pets, so they had to make a decision. So it's a little bit hard. I mean, our cat's, he's a big fluffy guy, so, and he does well with other animals too. So it's just trying to find a good fit. Yeah.
Sorry about that. It was Amazon, so I just knew that sons sleep, wives sleep, so I had to do it, except that was a person. It's not a person, it was a delivery person. It was already left. It was just a box.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
I've already opened it up. It was our Roku Express. Yay! Get to hook that up later after I fix my lawnmower.
So by the way, is there any progress in work of like having drones doing that, like the delivery stuff in the US?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe in more densely populated areas they might be doing that, but in Jacksonville, not a thing that's happening.
Yeah, I'm really curious because I think in my country it will be like the last one where they implemented, but it's like a big topic of how to commercialize the drone use and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, this hasn't happened every single time. I order a lot of Amazon, but they actually took, this was a month ago, they took a picture of the package on my doorstep, and it was attached to my order thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting and a little. Why is that spooky to me? It shouldn't be spooky, but it was just a little weird and unexpected.
It feels a little threatening to have like pictures of your house.
Well, Google Street View has normalized that for me, but it is freaky shit. I've gotten so used to Google Street View whenever I run games set in modern day that like I'm running one set in Leavenworth, Kansas, and like there's huge amounts of Leavenworth, Kansas that have no Google Street View. I'm like, but this is a larger road. It looks like a 4-lane road from satellite. Why do you not get out there, Google car, and serve me for my imaginations? Okay. Cool. So you guys head into the open air casino. We know 52's kind of bulked up, but wearing enough coverings to where he doesn't obviously stand out as a clone trooper. But if his face is uncovered and someone really knows, since they're clones, it's possible he could be recognized. I mean, it's kind of hard because clones all look like Boba Fett, we found out. Or actually Django. But okay, shut up, Rich. Okay, and then Kona is dressed in her normal kind of Padawanish wear. No, not a whole lot of color there, Kona. I'm curious.
I'm on the lookout.
Yeah, okay.
I'm definitely on the lookout for an outfit. Like, it's one of the things. Like, I want to. It'll be a symbol of my freedom to buy my own clothes, that kind of thing. But I want it to be the right clothes. I don't want it just to be. I don't need Dobby's sock to make myself happy. I'm not going to take just the first thing that comes around. Like I need to find something that fits me. So
The Polowig, she is singing some pop music. It's lots of synth, very upbeat. Upbeat is danceable, which is maybe bothersome for you, Conan, because there are a couple of female Twi'leks who are there. They do not have chains on them, but they're very obviously part of the entertainment, dancing for people here at the establishment. How do you what do we see Kona's reaction to that?
whew. Okay. Um uh what do their do they look uncomfortable?
So for a normal person like 52, you see, hey, they're dancing, they're entertaining, they're entertaining people, they don't have collars around their necks, they don't have chains that are holding them down. They look like they're dancing. You, Kona, however, you see the blank expression on their faces. You don't think they're drugged as much as just pushing out everything and just going through the motions of their dance. But it's so intricate and beautiful. Their bodies move with such fluidity that it's nearly imperceptible for anyone other than a Twi'lek or someone who understands that culture. Yeah, you get the opinion. You very quickly see they're pushing everything out. They're blanked out. They're just doing their job. There's no true joy in this.
Right. So this is really tough because you know, someone who thinks I can get something done and treated me like a real person gave me a mission to find a person at one of these cantinas. But I want to, you know, I don't want my people. I don't want anybody to have to do anything they don't want to do. It's a very teenagery way of looking at things. And I think she just comes to a stop, and she's staring and thinking, and she doesn't know what to do. So it would be very obvious to you, 52, that I'm bothered by where we are.
I'll turn towards you then.
Much like the way you were bothered with the doors closing before.
Yeah. Are you okay, Kona? Is this place making you uncomfortable?
Those dancers, they're dead inside. Can't you see?
I hadn't noticed. I'm sorry.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair. And I don't have the quote here in front of me, but like the thing that the Jedi talk about with the no feelings and stuff like that. Like I'm starting to like try to like read go through it in my head, but I'm kind of like, yeah, that. So I'm trying to say the words to calm myself down. And I don't know if 52's ever heard that Jedi code before or not, but if you listen, you'd probably hear the words that I'm saying. So after I'm done with that, I'm just like, Do you think she's here? Have we found the right cantina?
I hope so, and we can find out quickly, and then we can talk to those dancers if you want. We can try to do something. If you're worried about them, we should do something.
Let's focus on our mission. And let's make Sola proud first.
I'm always happy to do that. Yeah. Okay. So I kind of imagine them turning away from the Twi'lek dancers, but now 52 is the one who's like looking back at them kind of sadly.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find out anything about person whose name I forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Abinta Siko. She is listed on the people and places just above the Verpine. So the two of you head in after the brief pause. The music rises to a crescendo. The Twi'lek dancers continue. Then you push forward. You end up at the bar. And as you look around, remember I'd said there were very few humans here. Benta Siko identified to you as a female human. She's actually seated not far from the bar with Amon Calamari. And the two of them are, Mon Calamari are like Admiral Akbar. Is the most famous. And in Rogue One, there's a Mon Calamari who's like kind of gray-skinned, who's totally badass. Love that dude. So just to give you an idea of a Mon Cal. And the Mon Calamari and this human woman, the human woman looks to be in her maybe late 30s, played by a really good, like high quality BBC British actress. You know, got a lot of chops, not necessarily slumming it, but we've got Disney money, so we hired her because we wanted someone good in the role, kind of thing. And one of the things that you guys pick up is that a lot of the Verpine who are nearby, they actually have these like weird little rocks. They almost look like baby asteroid type deals, right? But the top half of the rock, you can see there are little grubs and the like. And the Verpine will just, they eat out of these rocks. They generally eat grubs, worms, and maggots, right? And there's a whole thing on Rose G42 where they grow a lot of them. So that's one of the things that you guys pick up. But you have located the only human woman who is here at the open air casino. And the two of them, they seem to be eating some yeah, let's not get too gross there, but yeah, that's what's going on. The two of them, they appear to be eating, but they're commiserating and talking quietly. What do you do?
Well,
hold on, I say to 52 once you've pointed her out to me, and I have R4RL like he basically pulls up like a little hollow projection of the two. This is so obvious, but I'm a teenager. But she pulls up a little hollow projection of them as if like it's recording them, but then it does like a filtration program and like starts putting words to the mouth movements or whatever. So we can listen to their conversation, but we're like standing in the middle of a damn casino doing it. I'm doing that. So, you know, not smart. But there you go. That's what I try to set up. I don't know if you want me to roll for that or not.
Yes, if you want to do, yeah, you need 4 to get away with it without being discovered, right? You do that, you can eavesdrop on their conversation without anyone discovering it. How do you want to pull that off?
Okay.
This is awesome.
All right. Sure. I will look at my character sheet tonight and let's see what we've got going on. Wow, that believer tag is filled with words that I should use.
Idealistic.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. So my droid. Okay, I'm doing something. I've got a droid that can remotely record. That's 4 dice, right?
Yeah, that's 4 right there.
Okay. And I will eat up the rest of my dice pool.
Wow.
Oh, are you sure you don't want me to throw in some? I've got a full one.
Okay,
And-
yeah. How do you does it matter? Like you have to use words.
Yeah,
to
we need some
describe,
kind of narrative, like how 52 is helping out. But
maybe
Well,
maybe he convinced me to not do it in the middle of the floor.
I think 52 is just fascinated by this, so he'll be fine with it. But I was kind of just imagining he's a big guy and bulky, and he could just like block sight of the hologram. That's all I was imagining.
Okay, so we're still standing in the middle of the casino floor, but you're like
you're near a Sabek table. Sabek table are these like hexagonal cards that it's like poker, space poker,
space poker. Got it. Okay.
So no one will notice except for the one spy in the corner who talks into a little microphone like they're here. But yeah. So I'll throw in 3 dice.
Okay. So that's 7 dice. I'll throw in one more, and let's see here. That's 8 dice with the funky H, and three successes. But I can re-roll my failures when I've got a droid.
and you're totally using your droid. So if you want to re-roll, you can.
Yeah, I'm going to. Let me re-roll the ones that failed. Yeah, okay. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 7 successes out of 8 dice.
I see that now. That is quite a reversal of fortune, sir. Yeah, there's a moment where one guy like starts to whisper into some kind of comm link unit, but then you find out he's just ordering more drinks, and you guys are able to surreptitiously observe using for reals.
Actually, can I rewind your description there?
Yeah.
Could we say that one of the dancers sees me and then moves in the way of someone that was going to report something?
Oh, nice. I love it. Yeah, so we have the red Twi'lek. They're super rare. And she notices that you're doing a little something, some kind of business, and the Verpine that was watching you like a hawk, she comes up and rubs a leku along his little insectoid neck and distracts him from that.
Really? She's like, if she knew that was what saved her, she would be so upset. But thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I like it. So you see the two of them commiserating, and the woman, the female, she says, I am truly sorry for your loss. And the Monkal says, my sister, she was always a firebrand. Sorga Glay will be missed. Our father has lost so many of us in this conflict. She reaches out and puts her hand over his, and there's a pause. And then the conversation shifts. Like you can kind of feel that audible shift as body posture. Like, I'm going to change the subject. And she says, I'm sorry to ask, but Slain and Corporal, are things progressing? Yes, of course they are. The B-Wing fighters will be ready. Not worry. Manufacturing is proceeding apace, and we'll be ready to fly out. I understand that there is an offensive that's coming soon. We will make sure that the supplies are ready. They continue their conversation. He starts talking about Sorga Glay, who is evidently his sister, and how she'd always wanted to be an X-Wing pilot. And while their father had always raised them to think independently and to be strategic, that she was always the one who wanted to get in and get her hands dirty. What do you do? Oh, and just, you got so many successes. He definitely, so the names that you get from them are Abenta is the name of the woman. That many successes. You definitely know. That is Abenta Siko. And the guy's name is Gyal Akbar.
Mm-hmm. 52 is gonna let Kona take the lead on this.
Really?
Say,
okay.
Yeah. Good work with the hologram. What do you want to do now?
Well, this is the woman we came for, right? We need to deliver Sola's message.
Just go up to her? We've never done this kind of thing before.
Neither. And she like blushes and she's like, well, neither have I. Well, could we order her a drink? Maybe she'll come over.
That is something I can do.
Okay.
And I'll
baby's first espionage is just adorable.
So yeah, I'll go up to the bar and order some drinks. I'll get a table for me and Kona, and then I'll have one sent over to, or a couple sent over to Aventa and young Mr. Akbar.
All right. As you head up, there is a droid that's behind the bar. It's the kind of droid that has from the stem piece, which is hidden behind the bar, a bunch of long extending arms, and all of them have like little drink nozzles at the end. And there's a glowing voice box that when he talks, "Good evening, gentle being. I am more than happy to provide the drinks that you have ordered." It blinks out of tune with the speech, but it gives the indication that the voice is coming from him. And yeah, so he takes care of your drinks, and Verpine heads over and drops a couple drinks over to the Moncall and the human woman, and they look a little surprised, like, oh shit, someone ordered us drinks? Oh god, we're found out. And then they look over and see 52 and a Twi'lek, and then and the woman, she holds up the drink and a thank you and a nod, and they talk, and of course, you still have the feet up, so she says, "Do you think we're made?" He says, "I don't know. That Twi'lek looks very young. Imperials wouldn't use one like that."
52 will kind of gesture over, but a little uncertainly. He's not really confident, yes. He's just eh?
Cool. They talk for a minute, and she says, "Jill, you should go. I'll take care of this." He said, "Are you sure?" Yes. And then she takes the last of her drink, here goes nothing kind of thing, and she gets up. She is she's got an empty blaster holster at her side. No blaster visible. Wearing synth leather pants and kind of a gauzy, not gauzy, but really flowy top, a bunch of layers. Darker
Lando
hair.
kind of outfit.
Do what?
Like a Lando kind of outfit.
Yeah, little Lando, little Lando-y. she heads over, and you guys
I'm rapidly trying to turn off the hologram thing, but like our fur won't do it.
It like flickers and back on. And she sees that. That's rude.
And I'm blushing again.
My name is Abenta Siko. You wanted to talk to me?
Yeah. I'm 52, and this my young friend is Kona Thorn. And yeah, Abenta. We are here on behalf of Senator Sola Panaka.
Oh, you're 52. Oh. She reached out and she put her hand on your forearm for a moment. Like, it's oddly touching.
Do you know of me?
I know Sola. She's mentioned you before. She thinks very highly of you. It's nice to meet both of you. Kona, are you all right? You probably shouldn't be here.
We're on a mission to find you. I'm where I'm supposed to be.
She can handle herself well. I wouldn't worry about her. She's a tough kid.
Okay. Well, Sola trusts you and you trust her, so power of transitive properties. I won't worry about it.
I don't know that math stuff.
Sola needs me. How can I help?
We were trying to. He like looks around and leans in closer. We were trying to make contact with someone on Rexus Prime, but our mission was foiled. His name was Kent Antic. We weren't able to reach him, and well, we had a stop over here, and Sola gave us your name. We're looking for help, for contacts, supplies. We're trying to get Sola back to Naboo.
You should move quickly. Emperor Palpatine has already placed Roche under control of an Imperial governor. His name is Bane Nothos. He's just been appointed.
But what?
The Senate has been dissolved. The Galactic Senate has been dissolved. And Emperor Palpatine is in full control. We are under the auspices of an empire. And the solution for the solution that he has provided for the lack of government is to put governors who are going to be holding sway over local municipalities. Planets will be under the sway. Small solar systems will be under governorships, and Governor Bane Nothos is who will be taking over Roche. It's going to be announced any moment now. I believe that he wishes to encroach with fire and fury.
Troops heading here then, or are they already here?
There are already legions on their way. They should be here any moment now. That's why I was getting an update from my associate to make sure that his plans weren't going to go awry.
Well, voodoo. Yeah. Thank you for the information. I'm sure Sola, as an acquaintance of yours, would like to talk to you personally. We can escort you out of here as well, if you would like to leave with us.
She probably wants to stay because of that B4 thing. Or whatever. What was it? B-Wings? Sorry.
The B-Wings.
Yeah, B-Wings thing is what she says.
Yeah. She.
I was thinking of a B4 bomber.
That's where it came from. So she stiffens for a second and says, "Your nosy and capable assistant is not wrong. I have some contacts that I can send to Raxus Prime to make contact with Kinth. I know of him, but I don't know him. I'll do what I can. I would like to meet Sola, but I won't be able to leave Roche not until I know that the Alliance has the supplies they need."
Okay. We can take you to her now, and thank you for any help you can offer.
Of course. And as you guys get out and you're headed out of the casino, we will cut away from you. We're going to cut back to the interrupted two things that our wonderful Jedi Knight had seen. So the first thing that Novar, you had seen was the flashback to where there was a huge battle on... we're going to call this particular rock. Let me grab a name for that because I have it. I just need to get it. Sola Kas is the name of what this asteroid was up until the Clone Wars. And during the Clone Wars, Sola Kas had a very small Jedi temple to it. And you feel the memories as you stretched out through the Force, the memories of the younglings and padawans who learned here at this temple. They were, of them, a great deal of Verpine, that the Force was a growing movement, and it was broken by the Order of 66. Order 66, as all of the clone troopers turned and what were once protectors of the younglings and the padawans became their murderers. And in the last moments, one of them, a Twi'lek, a young Twi'lek, reached out for anything to save herself and her friends. She drew upon forces that she did not understand. You feel the darkness enter her, and she lashes out. And in one quick moment, this young Twi'lek destroys half of the asteroid, the power of the dark side, killing all of her tormentors, but also herself and everyone she'd ever grown to care for.
Yeah, I think that as we see Nova meditating, we see like two tears just going down his cheek.
The other thing that you feel as you reach out is the Star Destroyer, the Hand of Sorrow, approaching. First, you see it on Raxus Prime as... Hold on a second. There's some problems with it. There we go. First, on Raxus Prime, as they pull in a data feed and cross-reference the visuals of Sola, Panaka, and 52. You can see the designation, the readout of 52 clone trooper, number of medals and awards that he was given throughout his service during the Clone Wars. And then you see at the end in a little bit of red, right? It's in Aubek, which is the Star Wars language, but we've translated it in the cool font. And in red, you see that there are a couple of bounties out for his arrest. And then you also see Sola Panaka and the accomplishments that she has to her name. Also a few older bounties that have been scrubbed. They're basically lined out. There's a couple of strike throughs as the bounties have been paid. And she was a scoundrel on her own. in her history, but then she became a very distinguished Naboo senator. And you see this, and then you feel the presence of the captain as he orders his Star Destroyer to head along the Perlemian trade route and find Sola Panaka at all costs. And that is his prime directive now, is to find Sola Panaka and to arrest her and take her to the spice mines of Kessel, because she's nothing more than rebel scum. Sorry, I just love saying rebel scum. There's a certain way to say it, so I just took that advantage. Those are the things that you see, and you're drawn out of your reverie. And just so we have a name, is Captain Hollis. Hollas is the captain of the Hand of Sorrow, the Star Destroyer. So you're brought out of your reverie by a couple of workers who have arrived to hand off your something. They've got a bunch of things in crates, and Sola is there, and she starts to head to drop the gangway and talk to whoever it is. What do you do, Novar?
Yeah, I like exit the trance and go with her. I like wipe the tear that I shed for the destroyed temple, and I go to like I like to talk with those men and waiting outside, and just like take them to take the cargo back to the cargo hold over here, because I think that this is one of us, someone who went out, just bought some supplies from this. Just going with them to showing them the cargo hold. Put it over there. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just working through the loaders. There's like 4 of them. One of them's a Wookiee. He loads a bunch of stuff, and there's also an older droid, a lifter. So they start moving these huge crates, and these crates don't have any like identifying marks on them. And we will have both Kona and 52 arrive as everything's being loaded onto the Blackbird. And Sola comes out. 52, were you aware that we were taking on freight? This seems very odd.
No, I didn't. Zuto must have arranged for it. I'm not sure where he got off to. What is it? Do you think we should look?
Yes. Oh, and she sees Abenta, and Benta comes up, and there's a quick hug, and she says, yes, if you could, 52, if you could see what we are going to be carrying, I'd like to know exactly how much.
Yeah, of course. And he leaves them to catch up on old times and rebellions. And excuse me, let me see inside one of those crates, please.
The Wookiee will turn and look at you, and he barks out something in his language. Which do you speak Wookiee? It's totally cool if you do.
I don't speak Wookiee, but I understand it well enough.
Okay, he says, "What do I care? I just move stuff."
Okay, move it down and let me open it then.
Well, he poof, and then he reaches down with his big furry claws, pries it open like someone would with a crowbar.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see inside is, you would be able to recognize Larmal stone. It's like Larmal stone is like you're just carrying around a bunch of platinum. It's all good. There seems to be quite a bit of it.
Okay. What did Zuto do? Is it?
The Wookiee chuckles and he heads off to get other crates.
I dig through the crate. Is there anything under it, or is it all?
Oh yeah, well you see that there are some tags on it. some tags for a particular shipping company. This is not your shipping company.
No, okay. What is this shipping company?
The shipping company is a manufacturing company here on Roche. It is smaller, kind of imagine an up-and-coming, possibly shady business.
Oh, good. Sorry, hang on a second. What is this stuff called again?
Sorry, I just forgot it, and I said it twice. Larmal stone. Yeah, I'll drop it into chat, and that's.
Larmal stone. Okay. Do you think I'd have contact information for Zuto?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got his comm link. No problems.
Okay. I'm gonna ring him up then. Hey, Mr. Captain Zuto.
Yes, 52.
Did you win a lot of money gambling or something while you've been away from the ship?
Not recently. I've had my fair share of scores, though. Why do you ask?
Some people are loading a bunch of crates of Larmal stone onto your ship.
Oh, wonderful. They move quicker than I thought.
Okay. What is this for or from?
Look, I'm just recouping some of my losses after some unfortunate hijinks aboard my ship. I'd prefer if you do not jettison this outside of an escape pod, if you wouldn't mind.
As long as it's not going to be murdered wherever it ends up, I promise not to do that.
That might be like a great segue to me arriving where Chilo might be, right?
Yes, it is. You're being ferried in a little one of those bug ship type deals that you swarmed around in as a Verpine's just taxiing you in there, and you pull up to this junkyard here in Nickel 1.
Can I pause for just a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so while 52 was talking to the captain, I'll let you get to your scene. I'll Kanye you here. I'll let you finish.
Go ahead.
She realizes she forgot to get the supplies that her master told her to get, and so she's gonna go off by herself to go get some stuff.
Best idea! I love it. Oh, thank you. Thank you for getting yourself in trouble.
Yes. No worries. I've got it all under control. Click.
Nice. Zuto, so you land in the little ship, and sure enough, pacing back and forth near the escape pod, because he has no money, and until he sells the escape pod to get money and passage home, is a Rhodian that you recognize, but he hasn't seen you yet. What do you do, Zuto?
So I want to keep within tone here. I want to be careful not to step out of the tone. I'm going to say, "Hello, Chulo," and shoot him. But the question is, it would be out of tone to use set my gun to kill, or should I just go with stun?
Well, I mean, he's a bounty. You're going to get more money from him alive. The bounty actually isn't for him dead.
Right.
Black Sun guy probably wants to do that himself.
So I'm thinking here, this is all about Zuto maintaining his reputation. Honestly, the credits here are not that much.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It isn't.
He could make a statement here and kill this man and drop the bounty and say that's what happens if you try to escape from Zuto, the famous. Or we could do a thing where he stuns him, and I don't know what. So would that be a scene that would be interesting for you all to have me drag Chulo back on the ship and have another?
Well, that's the thing. You don't have to drag him back on the ship. Remember, Roche G42 had a bounty hunter office where you could turn him in.
True.
They may never know.
Yeah.
They're gonna find out. I'll just like twin GM me and you, just so you know. They'll find out.
They'll find out. Yeah. So the question for me is, do I want you all to find out that I got my bounty or that I killed this man who tried to escape?
He didn't try. He actually did.
And if Zuto's like a straight up murderer, I don't know. Okay, so I think like he's sitting there and his gun was set to, he's like been like riding on this transport, like kind of flicking this toggle between stun and kill or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I'm not gonna have him straight up murder the guy, so I'll just stun him, I guess. I'll try to shoot him with a stun with my blaster carbine.
Difficulty 3. Pull this off without any troubles.
Hello, Chulo. Let's see if Zuto shoots first or not. Okay. Tags here. Sorry for that kind of waffling about while I was figuring
No, it's good. I want you to find Zuto and be comfortable with him.
Yeah, we'll do warrior, quick draw, aim, blaster carbine. No good to me dead.
That's all work.
And I'll leave it at 6 because I kind of would like some
chance.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, only one.
Oh my. Cool. So Chulo sees you and you pull up the blaster carbine to take aim at him, and he ducks behind the escape pod. He just dives and it passes harmlessly. He starts crawling through a bunch of old like metal parts and circuit boards, and we see a Casio keyboard, but it's off to the side. It's just an Easter egg for later. And he climbs like into the shop and he takes off running. You could probably chase him down with your jetpack and the like, but it's gonna get hairy. As you're watching that though, you see that there are a few stormtroopers that are headed this way. What do you do?
Oh, Chulo. I should have set it to kill, and I'll start jogging after him. If the stormtroopers bother me, I plan on flashing my credentials. So,
flashing them,
right?
Your credentials, awesome. If you want to hunt down Chulo, another difficulty of 3. I mean, he's pretty well hosed. He doesn't have a gun to fight back. He's just trying to duck in and out of the junk and debris here at this area of Nickel 1 and then lose himself in the crowd.
Hunter tracking, jetpack, follow, and then I'll throw one in from the pool for another 6.
Okay. If you fail at this, you've lost him in the crowd at this point.
For sure.
Effort.
Is that all fails? Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
I saw Let me say that the universe does not want Chulo to be captured.
That is indeed the case.
The good news is you get your pool back, right?
True.
Plus 1 more, right? So that's the good news there. You have to flash the Imperials, your credentials that hold you up. You spot him in a nearby little area that's selling recently brought in vegetables and foods and the like. He ducks down, little Rhodian. He's good at being sneaky. He ducks down behind a booth. You hop up on your jetpack, and that flushes him out. And he's running along. He ends up going down an alley, and then you float down, drop down by the alley, and you've got him. You've got him dead to rights because he ends up running into the end of the alley. It's one of those things where you'd have to climb up really high, and he turns around. And that's when you hear from behind you the slightly modulated voice of a few Verpine. Hey, buddy, that's a real nice blaster carbine you got there.
Connoisseur, are you?
Turn around and you see that there are 8 Verpine here. You can just tell from the coloration of their bodies, it's like a brighter green. They are young. like teenagery in Verpine years, and they are carrying what are called Verpine shatter guns. I'll link you to them because they look cool. I think they look super cool. Verpine shatter guns are not blasters. They're effectively miniature rail guns. They're super illegal. They launch metal alloy projectiles using magnetic fields. They're nearly silent, have excellent range and accuracy, and inflict extremely large amounts of kinetic damage. And they're holding you up. Yeah, I am. I am a connoisseur. What does connoisseur mean? It means you like it. I like it. Gimme the jetpack too.
You lot look like you just crawled out of your pupaic chrysali.
Oh, I don't like this guy at all. You got a mouth on you.
Yes.
All right.
My species only has one.
Sectoid on like hand it over. Come on. Oh, that one has a stun setting. Perfect. We would have to kill everyone. What do you do? You want to cut away and come back to you?
Yeah, let's cut away. It's
awesome.
A dramatic moment.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. Cool. So we cut away. Everybody good? Anybody need a bio break? I know we took one early, but it's been a solid hour. Everybody cool? All right. So we pick up with Novar. Kona's gone. Novar?
Yeah.
You trust her, though, right? That's what you said earlier.
Yeah, 52. Have you seen Kona somewhere?
She was right here. I thought she went on the ship.
Have you brought some vegetables or fruits? Because I asked her to find some.
No, we did not get any space tomatoes. Sorry.
Okay, then I hope she got to find it.
Okay.
Just ping me when Zuto comes back. I will wander about just to make sure that we can take off as soon as he gets back. I have a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to go look for her too, or are you okay?
No, I'm not going to wander to find Kona. I hope she can handle herself. I just need to, make sure that as soon as Zuto comes here, there is no, tractor beam fields holding us. By the way, how is can we just fly out of here, or were there some doors closed, or is there only this protection field?
So, great question. There's a plate that closed over. Well, it's not really a plate. The way that it works is that there's effectively a gigantic mechanical arm that will move a slab up into the whole space. A ship comes, lands on it, and moves that thing down, puts it over on a saucer into a wall hanging, and then it moves a new one up.
Yeah.
So as long as that space is open and you guys can get the couplings off, you could.
And it's closed right now.
It's closed right now.
Yeah, so I suppose we see Novar just exit the ship, look up, and then he tries to find the flight control, whatever operation. No, I want to have some other type of action. Maybe he actually goes to where this arm is being operated, which is not flight control, and I will just waiting there to try to hack it open, whatever is needed.
Oh, you're laying in wait because you think that a quick escape might be important here?
I don't know where do you want to take this action, but I totally believe that somewhere in the flight control, they right now receive a big bump on the sensor, and it's hands of sorrow that just emerged from the hyperspace.
Yes,
but if that's not your plan, I don't know. But yeah, and Nowhere has the bad feeling that hand of sorrow will be here in a moment now, because he knows that his range is limited. So if he sends the hand of sorrow, then they must be closed. So
nice. Cool. So we will pick up with Kona. you head out into the market. Now, just so we're clear, the market here, you're actually on a different asteroid than where Zuto is right now.
Okay.
Okay. So heading up and heading to the market, which is not far from open air. You head in, you start grabbing some vegetables, a few spatos, which we're calling space tomatoes. That's my portmanteau that I just made out for no apparent reason. It's canon now. And as you do, there is a small little Imperial droid. You recognize the Imperial droid. It looks about this size. It can float around. It comes and it sprays up a little hollow. Well, not really little. It's about 50 feet high. And you see a man, human, and he, like the top half you see of him, he's wearing Imperial commander uniform. He's not wearing the hat, so he's not some kind of schmucky dude. And he says, "Greetings, gentle beings of Roche." And then we have a slight echo as this is happening in multiple places across Roche G42. And then we also hear it as we're checking in on Zuto. And we see it within the Blackbird on the main communications band. "Greetings, gentle beings of Roche. My name is Governor Bane Nothos. I have been appointed by our benevolent Emperor Palpatine to oversee the peace and tranquility of Roche. Please understand that several garrisons will now be moved into your space. The Star Destroyer, Hand of Sorrow, is arriving during this transmission. Please do not resist. We are only here to keep you safe. Thank you." And then the hologram disappears and people start freaking the hell out. Kona, like ducking, grabbing stuff. There's some people try to steal some of the items from one of the nearby carts, and they're grabbing and just trying to run for the hills, hide out. You see a bunch of ships that are starting to get up and try to head out of G42. What do you do, Kona?
Well, okay. Like, I've got my vegetables. They're
Yes.
important. They're important to me because that was what I was told to do. But I think R4 has like a tray, like an empty tray, and I just sort of put as many vegetables in as I can. Gonna bruise a lot of vegetables. I know it's
he opens up this little big area for this little. You can also put a lightsaber in here, but instead you're putting some vegetables. It's good.
right. I'm just like putting the vegetables in, and I'm like, "This is our chance," I tell R4, and I run back to the open air.
Sweet. Oh, do you? Cool.
Yeah.
So you head back to the open air, and it's also very hectic. A lot of people are trying to vacate the place. And you see that there are 3 Verpine here. They've got shatter pistols, and they're making sure none of the credits are stolen off of tables and the like. What do? You do spot the 2 Twi'lek dancers. They're dancing.
I run up to them, and I'm like, "I have a ship. Let's go."
The woman in the red Twi'lek, she reaches and she says, "Then you should go."
No, freedom awaits. Come with me.
"The Empire is here. Darling, you should go."
"You don't have to stay here. Come with me." And I'm like shouting at this point.
Cool. You need to convince her without any trouble happening during the convincing. So I'm going to say it's a difficulty of 4 to convince these 2 Twi'leks.
Okay.
If you get 3 successes, one of them will come with you, but the other will not for some reason that will determine.
Okay. So I say to her, "We're with the rebellion."
This is awesome.
So I'm doing.
Here for you'll go. "Bah, bah."
I'm doing something.
Yep.
I'm a believer. I've invoked the rebellion. I'm acting out of righteousness and fear,
Mhm.
and I'm idealistic.
You're
Oh, and I'm
definitely trying to convince them.
Right. That's 7 dice.
You are built for this.
Yeah, I was. And I'll spend one more die on my die pool. So that's 8 dice.
Oh, that's right. You didn't have to spend it all before.
Right.
Thanks, 52.
Yeah, thank you.
You are looking for 4 success to pull this off. I'm going to clear.
Okay.
Oh man, I got to share screens because this is so exciting. I'm so tense about this.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1. I got it! I got 5!
Oh man, that is so dope. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Oh, I had hard moves coming, but those don't happen because you pulled it off. Sweet. Okay, so
I don't mind. I would love to get into a fight because I'm trying to.
fight's coming. Fight's coming.
All right.
That will be part of our talk off. But the idea of you only taking one, not the other, that much success is, I said, a super high difficulty. You get to win, right? This isn't a Apocalypse World where I screw with even your successes.
Right.
Things happen. It's Star Wars. You won. All right. The one in red, the one who used her Leco to distract a Verpine, she's the first. She looks to the other girl and she says, "Let's go." Are you crazy? She's probably going to get us killed. Just trust me. And that's when a Verpine comes up and nudges you in the back, Kona, with his pistol. Both of them are going to go with you. And he says, "Hey, listen, I don't know what you're trying to pull, but you need to go, kid."
Okay. So the back of my outfit has kind of like a duster to it, basically like a long cape to it. And up under that is where I have my lightsabers.
Love it.
So I slowly reach back for them, and then I'm just going to turn, and the sabers are on, and I'm
You cut off one of his arms. Can we have an arm cut off moment from a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, because he's going to fire on you, dude. He pulls the trigger.
Yes. All right. Screw this. Yes. No. The 2 arms come off. What are you talking about?
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah. The Verpine, you see this like black greenish ichor comes from the thing. We're not spraying. It's not like a Sam Raimi film, right? But then we see the arm with the shatter pistol. The shatter pistol fired off, hit a bunch of lights because it throws little metal shards, right? It's like some kind of weird shrapnel thrower thing, and that's when the Twi'leks are like, "Oh crap!" And you've got 2 lightsabers out. The other 2 Verpine, they're like, "I do not get paid enough for this." And one of them like flips a table, and he's not coming out from behind the table, but he's making it look like, "You better not come closer, I'll shoot you." The other one just turns and runs and dives over the bar. Those 2 Twi'lek, the one in blue, she says, "Soon this is crazy." She's the one who is more fearful. But the red, she says, "I trust her. Let's go. Where do we need to go?" And she reaches down and she picks up the shatter pistol.
Okay. I'm running, and I'm going to leap over the table and finish off the guy with the.
Oh man! Oh man! The Verpine looks up. You see his little eyes, and we see the reflection of Kona coming down with a bright. What are the 2 saber colors? They're I know they're on your picture, but just so we know, remind us.
I don't know what the language of lightsabers is.
Oh, just colors. I just want to know what colors.
Okay. Well, I just there's a language of flowers, right? Like yellow means friendship or something like that.
There is literally that, of course, because expanded universe and nerds. But I just
right arm green, left arm blue.
Awesome. So we see like this green and blue, like purpley last moment as you take out the second Verpine. And the third Verpine, who ducked behind the bar, he like pops up to try to take a opportune shot, and he gets nailed. The red Twi'lek, she shoots him right in the head with the shatter gun. It sprays a bunch of we pan away from his head. We just see the green viscous stuff, and it knocks out a bunch of bottles behind it. And she's standing there, and she checks the gun. And where do we go?
If you lose me, if I have to, follow this R4 unit, and we start running back for the ship.
Sweet. There's a warm klaxon going on because the open air, just there's a bunch of Verpines that just got blown away. Cool. So we cut into Zuto to catch up to him. Oh, wait, warm, and we pan down to Novar. Novar's perfectly in place to make sure this arm is going to clunk it up, right? We see the little kind of air control area that's down in here is lit, and we see a bunch of Verpines that are talking between each other, and the klaxons are going on. But Novar, you saw all this coming. You've got it under control, man. Now we cut to the Verpine. We see the governor has made his big declaration. A bunch of people going around. They're like, oh, man, we only get to rob one more guy. Hand it over.
Do I need to give you a history lesson about the Hand of Sorrow, young man?
Going with no. You need to give me a blaster carbine and that dope-looking jetpack.
This jetpack has saved my life on more than one occasion.
Oh, it's good to know it's useful. Poke. He pokes you with the barrel of his gun.
And I think it might save my life today as well.
Oh, shit. You hear from behind you, if I help you, will you let me go?
I think you're going to help me already. And I want to like, he has a bounty and 14 systems.
Oh, snap. Okay, cool. Difficulty, if you want to get the hell out of Dodge, is difficulty 3. If you want to try to take these guys down with their shatter pistols, that is a difficulty of 5.
Yeah.
Without getting hurt. You will take some conditions, like you will survive.
Right. Yeah. No, I want to get out of here. When I think the ship is kind of like my new, hearing this this hologram message. This is my new issue. And if maybe some stray shatter shots hit Chulo, well, that's no sweat off my back.
Sure. I don't even think I'm taking sweat. So there you go. So yeah, 3D to GTFO.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Hunter then. Evading with my jetpack is pretty much my big thing.
I'll clear it.
This time I'll add 3 to the roll.
All right.
From my pool. So that should be
cool. Just waiting to help you eventually.
Yes. Oh, just 3.
Oh, I'm going to give you a condition, man. All right, so they fire a couple of shatter gun shots your way, and either you're tagged or the jetpack's tagged. What condition do you want?
Oh my gosh, tagging my jetpack along the way. That would be brutal. Let's do it.
Awesome.
But didn't you say difficulty 3 to get out?
It was 3 to get out, yeah, but I want to give you yeah, you just barely hit it, so I'm giving you a condition as part of his getting away. Plus, I haven't given any conditions. Damn it, I need conditions to encourage refresh seeds.
Maybe like one of the thruster guided systems gets like hit by a stray shatter thing, and I go careening off in some other direction. I could mark lost.
Oh, okay, cool.
Maybe
I like it. So yeah, you mark lost. You end up kind of half crashing into. I'm gonna say that like you end up crashing into where a freighter is being loaded up very quickly by a few bots and let's see. I need a species. Let's see. Some guy who's trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Let's
Trandoshan.
Oh yes, you read my mind. I needed a good one. Yeah. So there's a Trandoshan female, mostly from the voice actors. She's like, Skitis, hurry up, ties are on their way. Smash down.
Just like right into her freighter or whatever.
Yeah, like you like land on the gangplank, right? As some of the I'm going to use pit droids. Like there's a group of pit droids and they stop and they move around you, and they're still carrying like gold platinum bars and other supplies. And the transition looks down at you. She stands over you. She's like 7 foot tall. Great. What do you do?
Room for one more?
Sure. She grabs and picks you up by your jetpack and shoves you up the gangway. And yeah, the gangplank's raising up as she urges all of her little pit droids and starts tapping a couple of them so they drop down into just the helmets. The pit droids are the ones that look like miner helmets, but they have droid bodies that come out from under them. They're like 3 foot tall, and she just taps a few of them on their little miner oculars there, and they're really easy to store that way. I love pit droids too. They crack me up. And she's gonna head towards the cockpit. You see, there's like 3 others who are here trying to set and secure things away. What do you do?
I kind of like just dust myself off a little bit, and say, my name is Zuto. Pleasure to make your acquaintance on such an auspicious day.
Sweet. You see a clone, and the clone will look at you, and he says, I'm Nengor. Huh. Well, I hope you can hold your own, because we probably have ties to deal with right now.
Oh, piloting. Yes, I've had my fair share. Do you have a free turret? I'd love to swat a few flies.
Sweet. So I'm going to say this is like a YT transports or the Millennium Falcon type deal, except this is one that is a little more like a circle. Doesn't have the front. It's just like a disc. And he's going to, there's a bubble on the in the aft. And I've got the 4. And they're basically taking off and hoping to burst their way the hell out of here before too much trouble happens to get off of Nickel 1.
Before I make my way to the turret, I'm just trying to introduce myself to everybody and get all of their names and whatnot. Oh, nice. Yeah, handshakes, and I'm just starting to collect data to look in the bounty.
Oh, they all have bounties on them.
Okay, cool.
All of them have bounties on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're smugglers and traders. They don't, other than fighting their way out of stuff, they don't actively go to hurt people. They don't deal with slave trade. But yeah, they're definitely.
So I kind of situate myself in the turret seat and put on my headset, and I say, "The Force works in mysterious ways." Yes, it does. And I'll get on the comms too once I'm kind of isolated in my bubble, saying, "Things are getting Nova hot out here, friends. Have we all gotten back to the ship yet?"
We will pick up with Kona as you come down into the platform with your 2 Twi'lek friends. Their names are Auntina and Sunvena.
So I didn't get stopped by any troopers on the way?
Just so we can actually have group scene, I'm going to say...
Okay, just... yeah, if I had to send them off alone and have them show up, it'd be... but yeah, I get it. So we've made it back then? Is what
yes, you're just now making it back to the ship when Zuto reaches out to you.
Reaches out to me?
To the group, like he came on comm unit, so... Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I still think of a cell phone. I was like, why is he calling just me?
Sorry. It's more like walkie-talkie. You guys all have the same frequency, so you can communicate back and forth.
Yeah. I'm here. Got the vegetables. Got the vegetables.
Boreal comes up.
Looks like that's not all you got. Good job, kid.
What was their names again? Sorry, were they?
Oh, it's in the people and places. It's you can just call them Aun and Sun.
This is Aon, and soon they'll be joining us.
Nice to meet you both. I'm 52. And that fellow actually is Novar's like outside the ship, right?
Yeah, Novar's out. Abenta is leaving because she said, Siko, she says she's staying. And so Sola's there and she'll introduce herself. Or she's there for you to introduce you. We're doing the introducing.
And the cone head up there is Novar Farin.
Cool.
I run up to Sola if this is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, are we gonna help her out? I mean, now that they're here, we have to, right?
She looks around. Well, Pseudo's not here, but I will pay for their passage.
No, I mean the B-Wings and the Alliance and the Hand of Sorrow, right? We're
one ship. I believe that Gyal has enough protections in place to pull it off, but there's a possibility this may go awry. We need to go. We have to save Naboo. I'll do what I can along the way, and so will you.
But these people, they need us.
And what would you have us do? Stand and fight?
There's guns on the ship. We can fight, right?
Well, we need to get out of here first. Novar, do you think you can secure us an exit?
Yeah, I totally imagine that Novar is like somewhere in the different part of the city, just by this huge arm that locks the exit. So Novar just replies on the comms. Yes, I'm just saying about opening the how do you say it when you open a bottle?
Yeah, open the bottle. That sounds good.
Yeah. I'm just opening the bottle so that we can safely fly out. Mr. Zuto, when will you be available to pilot the ship out?
I have arranged for alternate transportation. Don't need to be alarmed. I'll be escorting our egress from above. So I'm just a contingency plan I've put into place. Plan B. I always have to have those prepared. So just to make sure that things go smoothly for us while you exit. So don't worry. Everything will be fine. Go ahead and whoever's most suitable can take the wheel, and I trust you all to treat my Blackbird with the utmost respect and dignity.
While you're having this conversation, For Real comes up to the galley. It just kind of drops out all of the vegetables and fruits and everything that he was carrying, and zips and goes straight up and ports into the cockpit and starts. The ship starts, basically the couplings pop off and it starts start rising up into the air.
Yeah, Connor. Seems like you're applying the Blackbird again.
Yes, I am. Head on back. Let's get on board.
Cool. Pick me up on the way. I'm here by the huge arm that will open the bottle any moment now.
Cool. And there's a comm that comes over to the Blackbird. It's from hey, this is Roche G42 landing security. We're sorry, but due to Imperial controls, we're unable to open the doorway. So if you guys could just go ahead and land your ship again, we'd appreciate it. We really don't want to cause any trouble here, and I'd hate to send any security forces your way. Meanwhile, Novar, I think it's going to be a difficulty of 2 for you to use the Force to manipulate this arm. So why don't you do that? Or I mean, if
Yeah.
you want to like cut the arm so that it just falls out and do that with a lightsaber, that's a possibility too.
Yeah, I think Nova, for some reasons, is still trying to hide his Imperial presence. No need to reveal some lightsabers being used. Not like someone else did.
That's right. No one needs to know there are any lightsabers here on Roche G40.
Yeah, completely. No one needs to know about this. So yeah, so we see Nova under this huge arm that holds the door closed, and we see him like relax, and then he just like moves his hands and just like grabs the arm and just like moves it down, and then it like yanks it to the side so that it cannot close on its own.
That's awesome. I love it. I hope your rolls are as cool as your description.
So yeah, I'm going to 1 for trying, 1 for force sensitive. It's lift and I think lift and throw applies over here. So that's 4 dice, and you say difficulty 2?
Yes. It's
cool. So I'm going to drop 1 from the pool. And let me go to the rolling side. So that's 5. Yep.
Nice. You pulled it off. All right. With 3 successes. What does it look like? Like the arm and that little slab that it puts up, it does come down, but what's it look like when you do that, Novar?
You mean, are there some force sparkles or?
Yeah. Do we have like, or is it just move and?
We hear like servo motors are like working against me because they are trying to hold the arm in place, but I'm just like moving the arm, so we hear like the servo motor like some metal bend somewhere, and then when I like throw it around, it is like more metal bending, and the arm is like they will need some serious fixing over it, and then probably we see from the other part of this like base the Blackbird coming, so we see that by the time Nova managed to find himself some kind of small flying device that they are using to fly inside this like asteroid, and he just like gets on it and will try to capture Blackbird before it crosses the force field and goes up into the open space.
Awesome. Yeah, I imagine him on like a little like floating platform thing, right, that they use to go and work on bulkheads and the like, and so you float up to join the Blackbird. The Blackbird goes into that central open space in Roche G42, and as you guys are headed towards the screen to go out into space itself, you see a cluster of TIE fighters coming through, and we cut over to the transition. Her name is, I've got it. Going to grab that real quick. Kron. Kron quickly quizzes you to make sure that you know where all the buttons are. This has been retrofitted for a transition to be able to pilot it, so the buttons are really big because their hands are like, you know, gigantic and the like, and it's, yeah, everything is made for transition size, so you're able to spout out a little bit of jargon to prove that you are a pilot, and this YT takes off from Nickel 1, similar to different color palette, but similar design to what we have in G42, except it's the capital, so there's a lot that's actually up on the surface, right? And you see there are a bunch of you see the Star Destroyer come out of hyperspace, and then just it vomits forth, you know, the swarms of TIE fighters that are coming this way. And with, I've got to name the ship, I'm sorry, but the YT freighter will have a name by next session. I think we might call it the disc, something disc, like silly name disc or something like that. But both ships are taking off, and you see there are, you're not the only two. There are dozens of ships that are trying to just get the hell out, get into light speed, get away from this Imperial encroachment. And that is where we're going to end today's session. You guys trying to get out of the Roche asteroid system. Cool. That's right.
Nice.
Sweet. So that'll end our session. It's a little bit early, but I thought it was a good kind of cliffhanger. We'll be able to bring in Sola, that you guys are all battle stations trying to figure out what you're going to do. I would highly recommend that people consider refresh scenes as you're trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Those can be handled by flashback, right? So if you think that in the moment with the combat that's going on doesn't work, but we can always jump back and do a little bit of a flashback. Like to take a couple minute quick bio break, and then with our remaining time, and maybe we get out early. Oh my gosh! But I kept you guys so super late last time. Then we will do Roses and Thorns. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Okay.
Are we all back now?
I think so. Yes, thank you. I popped off of this window, so I did not realize everyone was back. Okay, Roses and Thorns. This is our feedback method, and it is gaming I see as not just a hobby, but a craft, a thing that I can get better at. And I also think it's great to, after a game, have a chance to talk about what we just did. And that's what we do with Roses and Thorns. We start with thorns. Thorns are things that didn't quite work for you, moments that you'd like some clarification on, perhaps some rules questions that we can brush up on for future sessions, or anything that you really weren't comfortable with but didn't call out in the moment. I will say I don't know if my scene management was up to my normal standards. I feel like Novar had a lot of idle time, and for that, Pavel, that's 2 games in a row, so that's not good. I absolutely need to concentrate on the Jedi, so we are going to have a heavy focus on Novar for the next session to fix the inadequacies, what I feel the inadequacies of this current session. So that's the main thorn that I wanted to lead off that I felt. Another thorn is just a thing of like, I wish Sola were here. NPCing Sola isn't as fun as seeing Sola played, but that's okay. We totally understand. That's why it's open table here. I'll start with Mark. Mark, what thorns did you have from today's session?
Well, yeah, I was going to start with. I just wanted to ask Pavel. I mean, you purposefully, it sounded like, framed yourself away from some of the action. And if you did that for my sake, I want to thank you. Like, you know, it was interesting to have a chance to, you know, get into more trouble. But if it led to you, like, you know, being bored in any way, I feel really bad about that. So I just wanted to you know, mirror what Rich was saying about not having focus on the Jedi. Although I thought well, that's a rose. I can't think of anything else right now as a thorn.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mark. So Matt, what thorns did you have?
That was actually my point as well. I felt a little bad that Novar didn't get as much to do.
Yep.
That was probably my main one, I guess. I can't really think of anything
I have
else.
something I wanted to mention. I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
I remembered to do it, but no one got reminded to mark their XP for things we were doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I did that one break, but I didn't keep going, and I need to keep helping people with that. Thank you. It's very good.
Yeah, I don't remember that very well myself.
Let's take a quick look, because next session will be really, really hard. Key of the Revolutionary, you most definitely hit that. I'm talking to Kona. Absolutely hit that hard.
I took 2 XP. I took 1 for the let me bring them back up. I can't click fast enough. I took 1 for Key of the Destiny. And one for the Key of the Revolutionary. So I went from 3 XP to 5 XP.
That's great. That means you have an advance.
Yep.
Very good. So Zuto, let's take a look. Key of the Bounty, absolutely. I think at the end there, I circle back for Key of the Mission because you were telling them to go on, not worry about you. What did you think?
Well, so I wanted to ask, so Key of the Bounty, is that when I pursue any bounty or only when I pursue 52's bounty?
That's a good question. I mean, it specifically says it's about 52. But that's awfully narrow. Like, I really wanted to point you towards 52, but I also feel like that's a main part. So I think we can broaden that a little bit. What do you think? Would you rather keep it just honed on 52? Because if so, it's going to be really hard to hit that key.
Yeah. I want to keep it there just because I think that's going to be a really awesome scene later on. So I'm happy to leave it how it is. I think maybe Zuto was acting a little bit selfishly this session, not necessarily helping the mission exactly because he was like, you know, doing his own side business. So I don't really know if I hit any of his keys today, which is okay.
Ooh. Even at the end, you didn't hit Key of the Defender out there. I don't know. Okay. I mean, if you don't feel like, I felt like you at least at the end there were saying like, don't worry about me. We've got it. Keep going. You guys got to do your jobs. That felt like a key of mission to me. But
okay, I can do that. That was a lot of just trying to maintain his pride. Like this was totally planned, you know, as opposed to.
But you're praying, you know.
Yeah. So I'll take 1 for that just so I can have something. I like that.
All right. Take it. It's your consolation prize. You get some steak knives as well. Okay.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Knife.
Next we have 52. What case
Hello.
did you think? What do you think you hit?
I'm not sure I hit any today, which is fine. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Yeah, Kona handled the Twi'leks.
I feel like I should have hit the key of the traitor harder. I
I
set it up in open air, but I didn't really follow through on that.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. There will be plenty of opportunities to do so. I'm sure as we head into Imperial space and deal with Star Destroyers and whatnot.
Oh, Star Destroyers.
And I actually did what I was told this session by Sola. So no, I don't think I hit any of mine today, but that's all right.
Okay. Definitely, that's teaching me a lot. Like that gives me, that's as much feedback as anything else. And last but not least, we have Novar Friend.
Yeah, so in addition to I've unaccounted for, I hit Key of Missing Piece when I had the vision of the destroyed temple. Then Key of Mentor, where at the very early beginning I lectured a little bit Kona and sent her off for the mission. So I'm hitting 5, so I have like 1 advance.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for that, Mark. Now we have resolved that. Let's circle back to Thorns with Matt. Any other Thorns?
No more.
No more? Okay, cool. Michael. Oh, the M's we got. It's so cool. It's really
I have a couple thorns. Self thorn. I felt like I just kind of hogged up too much time with the deciding to murder Chulo or not moment. I probably could have streamlined that a bit more. I also went off on my own a little bit this session. That's always an opportunity for more difficulty for the GM to move the spotlight around. So that wasn't super helpful. And I guess I too just wanted to see a little bit more Nova. I think he's a really interesting character. I do think that the vision was super awesome and really cool to hear and to see. I wanted a couple more moments of Novar being awesome. So I'm personally going to try to push towards that in the coming sessions. Those are my thorns.
Sweet. Yes, I hear you on that, and I saw in the chat. I think the internal struggle was important for Zudo. It was a bit of a meandering path with the like the fails, and I kept failing forward to other more side plotty stuff. I take a piece of that. Like I definitely had a lot of fun with that, but it ended up being a solo mission with 3 people watching. So there's something I can do to circle people back in, and I need to focus on that. So we will end up with thorns from you, Pavel. What thorns did you have?
Oh my god. Okay. So first turn to me. For some reason, I have really trouble engaging with the sessions. I don't know why. Maybe it's a little bit because I feel Novar has very passive keys. Like usually it's others telling me about what I missed. So I like hitting the key because someone talks to me. And there's only so much time I can spend lecturing Kona. I want Kona to be independent. I like missing some like key of the mission over here. I think it would be like really cool instead of key of the Jedi, the key of the mission, so that something actionable. But this is turned to me. I don't know why I have trouble engaging with this. I'm not catching the hooks. Like the guys came. Sure, I was hoping that one of us like ordered something. I didn't even wanted to inspect the cargo. Just like not catching this hook. So I don't know. I was kind of hoping that the vision will be more actionable. Like maybe I should have said it more. Like I was hoping that you would tell me that I don't know, you feel that the stormtroopers are closing in on Kona and 52, and then I can somehow interject into the scene. But there was like not much there. Maybe I should have say what I wanted from this vision more. I don't know. Another one is that I feel there were not much obstacles, and I actually think we forgot to even refuel the ship. Nobody refueled the ship, so I don't know what to do.
So,
but
I kinda, in my head I was like, yeah, that's what Sola's doing.
Yeah, but maybe like what I mean by not enough obstacles, like up into the middle of the half until like the Zuta got himself into trouble. There were like no trouble being here or staying, or it's like a trouble between the mission that is where we are like free to roam around and like more narrowed experience, like you want us to get somewhere. I'm just like, instead of going and searching for trouble, I'm kind of expecting that the troubles will be somewhere there for us. Like maybe if the Imperial showed up quicker, this would have been the obstacle, but they showed up like the last 20 minutes.
Okay. I hear you. It makes sense.
Yeah, the casino scene was like very super long. I kind of think that this could be like cut in between somewhere, like to see what Zuto and Mia and myself are doing. I think it was like very, very long, the casino scene.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's from me.
Cool. Well, we stick with you because I like doing snake order. 4 roses, things that you enjoyed, attaboys to your fellow players, things you'd like to focus on or have more of next time around. So what roses did you have?
Yeah, rose to you from mentioning Sorgo Klee. I suppose nobody else knows of her. Sorgo Klee is the character from last month on X-Wing Pilot. She died bravely. So a rose from somehow mentioning these characters from other games. A rose to Mark for being awesome naughty padawan who is pursuing her destiny. It's really nice to see Kona in the action and as like a kid, while all of us are like adults and have like adult perspective. Mark, you manages to like give Kona like this childish action sometimes, and this really cool, like, adult will never do it, but Kona can because she's a kid, so it's really cool. Yeah, and a rose to Zuta for getting himself into a lot of trouble while pursuing the bounty, but it was like cool to see Bounty Hunter in his daily job.
He's got a hunger for bounty. Let's go to Michael. What roses did you have?
Absolutely. Rich, you're always very prepared. It's something that's very inspiring, and sometimes I find myself like, oh man, I should have prepared as much as Rich had when I'm running games. You always have a name for somebody and a cool thing for them. When Zuto's jetpack like went off to nowhere, if I had been the GM, I would be like, I have no idea where you land, but you had a great plan that we were able to jump off on that was really fun. A rose to Matt. 52 is such like a tender individual, and you do a really great job of like expressing that, and it's really cool. I think it adds a lot of dimension to the game that would otherwise just be like hijinks or whatnot, right? So I appreciate that. And Novar is really cool too. Part of the reason why I want to see more of him. He's just so like noble and aloof, but I have a feeling that like part of that is like all this pain that you're kind of holding on to and not expressing. So I hope that we see some of that. And also, Kona, I keep giving you crap, and you're being very patient with that characterization of that patronizing kind of jerkwad, and being a hero and doing awesome, cool stuff. And that's very altruistic. I think that's a great balance to Zuto's kind of more selfish action. So thank you for that. But yeah, I had a great time. It's always a great time on Star Wars Saturdays. So I'm down.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Matt, what roses did you have, sir?
Oh, I also had a really good time, and I think everybody did a great job today characterizing the their PCs, and Rich, the NPCs that you conjured up. On that note, I will say I loved the voices that you do. You're really good at, oh yeah, that sounds like what a Trandoshan would sound like. That's I recognize that's a Toydarian, even though it's not like an offensive stereotype accent like in
Yay!
episode 1. I really like that. And I liked Zuto's internal struggle, and so I had to leave for a phone call while you were sort of figuring out what Zuto was going to do earlier. So I did not know that you were tracking down Chulo, and I was like, no. So I'm also going to give a rose to Fate for letting Chulo possibly escape, at least for now.
Poor guy. He keeps catching breaks, but the break never breaks exactly to his way.
And yeah, I think Mark did a great job with Kona. I really liked the idea you had about eavesdropping on the conversation through the droid hologram. That was really cool. And I was glad you whipped out the lightsabers and the talk of the rebellion. And I agree that I like Novar, and I can't wait to see him beat some dudes up soon. Because I like the Serene Master, and I think you embody that very well. But I also want to see the badass warrior side, and I hope that that comes out soon.
All right. Thank you, Matt, so much. Mark, you get to finish us off with your roses, or you finish off the player side. I got a few to give out myself.
Right. Michael, handshaking bananas. I loved it.
I don't understand that reference.
Okay.
What happened?
He made a deal with the flying bug guy, and he reached out to give him a handshake, and Michael described it as if he was shaking a handful of bananas or soft bananas or something like that.
Yeah.
But the internal struggle, please continue to do things like that. You may not have, you may consider it a thorn, I consider it a rose. I think it makes your character more real. And thank you for choosing to go with the no kill. Like I want the struggle, and I would have been happy with either choice, but like as a player, like I want to see Chulo live, and I think it's more in tone with the movies for me.
Right.
Pavel, thank you for giving me room to be a crazy little kid Jedi. And I thought the idea of asking Rich for visions to move forward with was fantastic. I thought that was awesome. I wish it had worked out the way you'd asked, or if the communication had worked out for it. Matt, I really want to see the comic book series of 52 and Kona as they go out and explore the worlds. I think we make a great pair of idealistic knuckleheads just getting into trouble. And thank you all for giving me a chance to take a lot of the spotlight, and to get into a lot of trouble. I had a lot of fun today. So, oh, and Rich, I gave you, the whole let's find another rebellion person. And not only did you have that rebellion person lined up, you had an entire conversation that we may not have been able to hear lined up. And if I'd been a GM, I'd have been like, well, I don't have to worry about what they're talking about because they're going to stop talking as soon as they show up to talk to them. And I whipped out no, we're gonna spy on them, and you had the entire conversation and the voices and all that. So yeah, rose for that. And
Thank you.
That's where I'll stop.
Good. I was worried about that conversation. Like, am I doing too much grandstanding? Because the whole GM has two characters role play with themselves, and you all get to be audience. Like, I've done that. I've been that, and I'm like, I have a mental internal timer of like how long I can go, and I try to always check myself. So I was worried that was a bit selfish, like indulgent, but I'm glad that it worked for you. Roses for me, 52 is really endearing. Like I was always curious coming in as we created the character, like this is a clone trooper and they're badasses, and we're going to hit him with conscience and altruism and the ideas of like hope. And that is a heck of a mix. And I really like the way you're doing it, Matt. It's super cool. Michael, you are going there with Zudo. Zudo was always like, he never did a whole lot of bounty hunting. Like, this is the third time you've played this character, and you haven't really had the space to hunt down bounties. You're like tenacious, dude. It's cool. Like, you do not give up.
I need one.
Jill didn't want as much as you lost, but that's fine. Those Verpine punks with their stupid shatter pistols, which fascinate me to no end. So I was glad I got to bring that in. I was like, he failed shatter pistols. I really like Novar, Pavel. I know that I think this is not a rose, but just to respond to the feedback, I will definitely take a look at the keys. So be ready for a new key. I may reach out to you over the week and just check in with you, but I think swapping out a key makes a lot of sense. I want him to be proactive as well. Didn't realize that the mix of 3 made you a more reactive character, and that wasn't the intent. So thank you for that feedback. I like Novar. I love the fact, like, the imagining, because I'm a nerd who actually liked the Force Unleashed video game series. When you saw, that was the first time when I saw, like, holy shit, the Force does crazy stuff. It's not just lifting a swampy X-Wing. Like, this dude's bringing down a Star Destroyer in one of the previews. And just the mental image of Novar, not using the lightsaber, but like this arm, right? It's holding freighter crafts, like tramp freighters. It just got to be super powerful, and him just wrenching it to the side. I loved that image. I want to see more of Novar doing stuff. And I had an idea as we were talking that I may pitch to you or I may just throw at you, but I'm super psyched for it. So there will definitely be some Novar stuff that we start off with. Thank you, Mark, for making Kona so passionate and stabbing that second Verpine. Like, that was a little dark-sidey. I'm just saying, it was a little, like, it was debatable dark-sidey, and I love that. She just went off, like, taking down the one dude, yes, but then just fully committing, coming over the table at the guy, and I'm like, oh, there's some darkness here. This is just great. I love it.
I took the key of the dark side.
Okay, well, that's a thorn. That's a rose. That's a rose.
It means that you have to add Secret of the Dark Side Sunder, because I don't think it's on the list.
Oh, well, I'll add that. Don't worry about it. Thank you for that recommendation. I will make sure that that's there. Key of the Dark Side, and I didn't put Secret of the Dark Side. Har, har, har. I will do that. No problems. Thank you for that note. I'll take care of that before I close anything down. Had a good time. Still think there's some more Novar stuff we can do, and this conversation has helped to unlock some ideas that I'm fucking going crazy to like launch. Like, I want to do it right now, but I'm not. Gotta wait a week, so it's gonna be festering in my brain for the next 7 days. Appreciate you guys giving me a few hours to play Star Wars with you, and we'll see you guys in a week. Okay?
One more thorn.
Yeah.
Jesse wasn't here.
Yeah.
True.
That was.
See you next week, Jesse.
Yep. See you guys next week.
Yeah.